vs. Capcom 3. It's the sequel to Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and the next game in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. So for anybody that's not familiar with the series, that means giant playing field, over-the-top action, 3-on-3 fighting with, of course, all the greatest superheroes and villains from Marvel fighting against the cream of the crop from the Capcom roster. We decided Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is a pretty great game. Obviously, people have been playing it hardcore in tournaments for 10 years. When we released Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for Xbox Live and PSN last year, it was the fastest-selling digital game of all time. So there's a huge enthusiasm for it. So we didn't try and reinvent the game, but a few of the things we've done in addition to the art style, of course, there's all new characters coming into Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But it's also a tighter integration of story, and so we have really much more comic influence in the game, both in terms of the look and in terms of the ultimate story that comes out of the game. Another thing we try to do is make a more free-flowing team experience, so it's not just sort of one character fighting one character and then one dies and the next one comes in. You're really switching between your characters all the time, both using assists and also much more frequent opportunities to tag between the characters on screen in combos and things like that. So one of those new features is, of course, the air exchange combo, where you can tag in a teammate in the air by either slamming the opponent down to the ground, off the wall, or up higher. So you get a lot of crazy vertical combos and just more fun, high-flying air combat, which is one of the fun things about Marvel. Right now, we're aiming to beat 30, so how many over 30? We'll see. It'll depend on how many we can get done in time for the game, but over 30 for sure. We haven't really gotten to the online part of development yet. We're still, a long way away from game launch, but expect something awesome. So, we take, a fighting game is best when it's played versus somebody else, and most players today definitely play online as their primary way of fighting against each other, and so online is very important to the game. So the controls are actually, I think, very much a hybrid, and I feel like after you spend more time with the game, I think you're going to find it seems more similar to Marvel vs. Capcom 2 than Tatsunoko. So the layout is similar, but the actual gameplay and experience is still 4 attack buttons, just like Marvel, still 2 assist buttons, just like Marvel 2. So we have moved away from punches and kicks, but most of what these guys are doing are not really punches and kicks anyway, so it gets a little crazy. I think you might see a few more returning faces that you remember from previous Marvel vs. Capcom games, but there'll be plenty of new blood as well. Some maybe you could guess, others I think will be a big surprise. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's reaction when we release the full roster. Come here. So Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is the new installment of the Versus series, the greatest, craziest fighting games of all time. It's coming out in spring 2011 for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.